Morning, VC. It's Glen Kellaway from the basement. How are you guys this morning? I gotta ask you guys a question. When you're doing videos, do you ever get halfway through and you just gotta sneeze? And then that's gotta look ugly on camera. So sure enough, come blasting out and had to start over. So anyway, Saturday morning, beautiful day. Weather's incredible. It's like 60 degrees outside. I'm walking my dog in a t-shirt in the middle of November. It's crazy. It is my nephew Jack's 17th birthday this morning, JT Media. So give Jack a birthday present and go to JT Media and subscribe to his channel, please. He's got around 20 subscribers. We got to get him up to 100. Please do me a favor and give Jack a birthday present. JT Media. Thank you. For the past month or so, I have had the blues. Something terrible? No, not that way. I'm happy as a pig in shit, actually, every day. I've just had a urge to listen to the blues. I don't know. I think I did this video with Chris at Blues Guy Vinyl. Maybe that's what kick-started me. And, he's the expert, the encyclopedia of the blues. Great channel. So I'm not going to sit here and do the history of the blues or anything like that. But what I wanted to do is just show what I have in my collection. Most of it's on CD. But I think the other thing that kind of kick-started is I found my favorite blues album of all time on a reissue, and I didn't know it was out, and I bought it and listened to it like 100 times in a friggin' row, and then started to pull all my CDs and stuff out. And then like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I found my second favorite blues album of all time, used, which is hard to find, in near mint condition, not a little crackle or a pop on the whole four sides of the album. Amazing condition. So I just wanted to show you some of the stuff I had and some of the stuff I like. I am sorely lacking in the essential albums, which I'm kind of motivated to find all those. Like I don't have a Robert Johnson album. So what I'm looking for is Robert Johnson, Coco Taylor, Big Mama Thornton, Big Joe Turner, and that would be it for now. I'd be happy with that stuff. So anyway, the album I found a month ago that is my favorite blues album. Probably if you're a traditional blues guy, this wouldn't be your favorite, but Johnny Winter, Progressive Blues Experiment. This is the album he made before he signed with Columbia and put out the self-titled Johnny Winter album and Second Winter and that. 1968, I believe. Just rock solid blues album. Blues from start to finish. Does a great version, It's My Own Fault, B.B. King song. This was the album that really just blew me away, and still to this day, when I found this a month ago, I couldn't believe it. Grabbed it, ran home with it. Well, actually, I drove home with it, and have been playing it almost non-stop. It's actually on colored vinyl. If you like blues, and you like Johnny Winter, or you just like blues guitar, man, this album is frigging awesome. So that was that. So then a couple of weeks ago, I'm in a record store looking for some used stuff. I found 4 albums off my want list. I think I already talked about that on another video, which was the coolest thing that can happen to somebody. We all know that. And found this, my second favorite blues album of all time, Fathers and Sons. This is a collaboration of Muddy Waters with a lot of the white blues dudes from Chicago in the 70s. There's the lineup: Muddy Waters, Otis Spann, Michael Bloomfield, Paul Butterfield, Donald Duck Dunn, Sam Lay, and Buddy Miles. Double album set. This isn't an original one because the original had a gatefold, but the records are in beautiful shape. There's the chest label. The first record is studio, and the second is live at the Super Cosmic Joy Scout Jamboree. I don't know, I think that was somewhere in the San Francisco area or something that they recorded this. Fantastic blues album. And my second favorite one. Not that I'm ranking these, but... Okay, another one I want to give an honorable mention to is an album that I've mentioned earlier on videos and told everybody, just, I know this is an obscure title for anybody else who's not from Toronto. Maybe some other pockets of Canada would know this album, but it's one of my favorite blues albums of all time. McKenna, Mendelssohn, Mainline, stink. They actually don't stink. They're incredible. Mike McKenna, the guitar player, is great. Joe Mendelssohn is an incredible singer, harmonica player. Actually, the funny story, if you're a Toronto boy, you'll know that Joe Mendelssohn, after he left McKenna, Mendelssohn, Mainline, became a solo performer and an artist, and he's a very quirky guy. He was like pretty funny, actually. But he changed his name to Mendelssohn Joe. And the reason he gave for doing that was because when he got mail from the government, in those days, they always put your last name first. So he'd always get mail that said Mendelssohn Joe. So he figured, well, if the government wants to call me Mendelssohn Joe, I'll change my name to Mendelssohn Joe. Then when I get mail from the government, it'll say Joe Mendelssohn. So, I don't know. That's quirky. So now I'm into CDs here, because most of my blues collection is on CDs. One I want to mention here, because I just found out recently about this. When I showed the Fathers and Sons album, there was, the idea was to do two. One in England with Howlin' Wolf and all the British white blues guys, and the one in America with Muddy Waters and all the white American blues guys. So this was supposed to be the companion piece, and it's a great freaking album. I was listening to it yesterday for the first time in a while. The London Howlin' Wolf Sessions. Yeah, very cool. So Howlin' Wolf plus Eric Clapton, Steve Winwood, Bill Wyman, Charlie Watts, and is there not always a Beatles connection in everything? Ain't Superstitious, the second cut on the album. Look who plays drums. Richie, drums. Ringo Starr played drums on the one song. Very cool. This is a great CD if you're into blues and you like all those white British blues band. It's a great melding of the two. Another classic blues album that I love, B.B. King, Live at the Regal. Amazing blues album. This is B.B. King at his best as far as I'm concerned. Great frickin' album. Love it. What else do I want to show? I could show more Johnny, but my Muddy Waters. See, it's besides the I've got Folk Singer. I forgot to bring down that would, I should have brought it to play. But Folk Singer, Muddy Waters is a great album. I'm not going to run out of camera to grab it. Muddy and the Wolf. This was a combination of Muddy Waters on one side and Howlin' Wolf on the other side. I think again, you can see Mike Bloomfield there and Charlie Watts. So a lot of this stuff is probably... Aha! I'm learning something, man. I get the feeling that this is a comp from Fathers and Sons and Howlin' Wolf London sessions, because all the Howlin' Wolf stuff is with all the guys who played in England and all the songs from... I learned something. Okay, so that's cool. I learned something right on air. That's very cool. I like that. And the other one I have is The Best of Muddy Waters, which is great. Great album. You know, the first Muddy Waters album I ever heard was Electric Mud. I should grab that when I can find it. That would be very cool. Here's a guy that I'm not sure if everybody's aware of. Kelly Joe Phelps. This album is called Lead Me On. It's an amazing blues album. Chris, blues vinyl guy, I'd be really interested in knowing if you're aware of Kelly Joe Phelps and have listened to this album. I'd love to hear your take on it. It's just Chris playing amazing blues guitar, and he's got an incredible voice. And I found this album in a box of used CDs. Never heard of Kelly Joe Phelps, but you know what turned me on to it? I opened it up, and I saw this a guy playing the guitar, and it says, where is it? It says it was recorded at Dead Aunt Thelma's. That's, I guess, a studio in Vancouver or something. Dead Aunt Thelma. Man, what a great name for a studio. Unless he really had an Aunt Thelma who was dead and he recorded it at her house. I'm not sure. But great album. Kelly Joe Phelps. Who else? Well, John Mayall. We gotta go John Mayall and the Blues Breakers. So here's what happened. I got the original one with Clapton, the Beano album, which is an essential blues album. Then, on Amazon one day, I ordered the next one of the ones I wanted. It's called A Hard Road. So I get the album, and this is a 2 CD set with A Hard Road, and then other songs, outtakes and whatever, and more songs. But what they did is they sent me the Hard Road album with the Beano cover. But it's still a hard road. I mean, that's thing, and there's the back of it. I got the Hard Road album with the wrong cover. But great album. How about this? Another great blues album. The first Taj Mahal album. Another classic blues album. Love Taj Mahal. I got to see him perform once. He was great. Amazing. Little Walter. Great harp player. This is a great blues album too. Best of Little Walter. I wouldn't mind delving further into his catalog. This is a 50th anniversary chess. Love My Little Walter. He's pretty good. What else? Another essential blues album. When you hear interviews with the Claptons of the world and guys like that, this was an album that really was inspirational to them, and they all sat and listened to and learned how to play all the songs. Albert King, Born Under a Bad Sign. Great album. Albert King. What else have we got in here? I'm going to show you another B.B. King because I have this album just because of the one song. I'm not a big fan of the rest of the album for some reason. Not one of B.B.'s greats, but the song Lucille. That's when he sits and he talks and he plays the blues and he tells a story about oh, it's that freaking thing. It made me look weird, eh? Whoa. That's scary. Holy Christ, I should have done this on Halloween. Getting that out of there. Scared the shit out of myself. He does Lucille, the song. It's about probably 8 minutes long. He tells a story about his guitar and how this woman started a fight in a bar, and her name was Lucille, and they knocked over a gas lamp or something and started the bar on fire and burnt the bar down, and B.B. King had to run out of the bar with his guitar to save his life, and he named the guitar Lucille after this woman. The song's very cool, so one of my favorite blues songs. So I had to have that album even just for the one song. What else have we got here? Oh, this is an awesome CD or album. I gotta find this on vinyl. I used to have it years ago. So Many Roads, John Hammond. This album is from like 1965. Excuse me. And it features the Hawks, or who would become famous as the band. Robbie Robertson played the guitar on this album, and Mike Bloomfield came in to play on the sessions, and he saw Robbie was playing the guitar, and he played the piano. Can you imagine that? Mike Bloomfield, one of the greatest blues guitar players ever, taking a back seat and to Robbie and playing piano. That's a good tribute to Mr. Robertson. This is great. Levon Helm's on here. Garth Hudson's on here. Robbie Robertson's on here. Charles Musselwhite's on here. He plays all the harp on it, even though John Hammond is a great harp player. Really great classic blues album. I think another essential album. My Buddy Guy albums. I don't have too many. I've seen Buddy Guy live, like, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 times. Buddy Guy Skin Deep and Buddy Guy Living Proof. I'm looking for some more Buddy Guy stuff. First time I saw Buddy Guy, was at Festival Express in 1970. But after that, I saw him in a bar in downtown Toronto called the Colonial on Yonge Street, which is Toronto's main street. And he comes out and he starts playing. He's got a guitar cord that's like 100 feet freaking long. And he walks through the crowd, all through the tables and everything, and plays in front of you and plays all around. And then he walked out in the street on Yonge Street, and he walks back and forth on the street playing in front of all the passers-by. He was amazing. He's still an amazing guitar player. Oh, what else have I got here? Great Toronto blues band. Downchild Blues Band. That's probably Toronto's most famous blues band, maybe Canada's most famous blues band, Downchild. They were the inspiration for Blues Brothers. Dan Aykroyd was a big fan of Downchild, and they incorporated a lot of the Downchild songs. I looked up a list of the top 100 blues albums of all time the other day to see how many of these I had. I have the CD and hardly ever listen to it, but I'm going to give it a bit of love in the next couple days. Albert Collins, Cold Snap. We'll check that one out. It's funny, you guys ever do that? Like you look up a genre of music and just go to the 100 greatest. I did it. That's how I got into jazz. Was I wanted to, I got Miles Davis, Kind of Blue, and then I go, where do I go next? And I just put in a search for the greatest jazz albums of all time, and bought the top 10. And that's when I discovered Oscar Peterson's Night Train album, and Charles Mingus, Herbie Hancock, and a whole bunch of them. So it's a good way of discovering music. Okay, the great Paul Butterfield Blues Band. It's their first album. Another essential album which shows up in the top 10 albums, great blues albums of all time. Great dual guitar show here with Mike Bloomfield and Elvin Bishop. Robert from Robert on My Turntable has a response video going on now with albums with 2 lead guitars. This was one of my picks. Now what happens, they recorded this album, then I think the studio or the producer or something didn't like the way it sounded, and they recorded it again. And then Paul Butterfield didn't like the way it came out on the release. And then years later, this came out, the original lost Elektra sessions. This is the original sessions for that album. Great title for an album, Paul Butterfield, The Resurrection of Pig Boy Crabshaw. Maybe, could that rank as one of the top 5 album titles of all time? The Resurrection of Pig Boy Crabshaw. So, I think that did it. That's all I got. I hope everyone has a great weekend. I'm going over to visit Jack and give him a birthday present. And social distancing, I'll give him a virtual hug from 6 feet away. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to my day. Like I said, please give Jack a birthday present and subscribe to his channel for me and for him, JT Media. I appreciate that. Everybody have a great weekend. Peace out. Love you all.